when we were filming Star Trek Discovery Season 1, I'd gone to Alex and say, we have to do a spin-off. This is, I mean, it's a no-brainer. I choose to believe that I think my voice is a little bit louder right now. I think it's important to keep pushing and keeping that door open. It's not Michelle Yeoh. I'm playing Philippa Georgiou, and she's always taken liberty with the way she talks, the way she walks, and how she looks at you and go, there are so many people looking after it. I'm just going to go in and enjoy myself. And I think that's, for me, is the best attitude. I couldn't wait to do that. I would, because when we were filming Star Trek Discovery Season 1, I'd gone to Alex and say, we have to do a spin-off. This is, I mean, it's a no-brainer. And so between the two of us and Tunde, we waited. We really worked on it. We never gave up. We never lost sight of it. I always knew, I would make time for Star Trek, and I would always make time for Philippa Georgiou. And then here we have Section 31. Oh my God, I love the fact that the fans have been waiting patiently for us and, giving us and helping us and encouraging us to seek a new frontier, right? And show us something different and show us something new. And it's very, very encouraging to have that kind of love and support. I think I've worked with Chris McGuire, Max and George. Chris McGuire, it's since Star Trek Discovery. So, working together then, they understand where I come from. And also I think they are great collaborators. So between Tunde, myself, and that they would run off and they would choreograph a piece, understanding what are the things that's written on the script. Then they would come back and show us an amazing choreography scene that they've thought of. And I love it because they will stand back and go, okay, Michelle, take it apart. I'm like, oh, come on, guys. But because you come from a different kind of perspective. I come from Philippa Georgiou. What is the motivation of why is she fighting? Why and how do we make this fight different from the others? Because otherwise it's kind of the same thing, right? Like here we have the phaser pods, that makes it very interesting and challenging. And it's like, okay, when the masked raider comes in, why doesn't he shoot? If he shoots, how can we deflect in such close proximity? So I love working with Chris and the team like that. And I love the physicality of it. So it's always kind of fun because, in Section 31, we have newcomers, right? And so they go like, oh my God, did she just do that? So I enjoy those little moments. The nice thing for me because I've been trained in that background in dance and in martial arts and trained by the greatest from Hong Kong, I don't need so much rehearsal time because we pick up and we learn the choreography pretty quickly. So it gives me more time to do other things. And so I can come in at a few days later and still be able to catch up on that. So that gives me a lot of freedom to play. But the most important thing is that Chris and myself and Tunde, that we're on the same page, and whatever we're trying to change is for how we make the scene better, how we increase the intensity of that action sequence. I choose to believe that I think my voice is a little bit louder right now. I think it's important to keep pushing and keeping that door open, not just for myself as well, and for everyone that looks like me, because it's not easy, because there's not that. Luckily for me, even after Everything Everywhere all at Once, I was filming Wicked, right? So I was already very blessed. I was on a certain path and the things were in the making for it. But I think what it is like it's brought the attention to many storytellers, especially the people at the top, to go, why is she the first one in so many years? Is there something that we are not, getting out there? And so it is a challenge to keep finding that stories, to keep, finding the storytellers that want to include faces and, the diversity that we so desperately need to have. So yes, it's changed, I think, my life. It will continue to change my life, and it has changed the perception and the lives of many others, because it's inspired them to believe that it can be done. And recently now with Shogun, with Pachinko, and the ability for the audience to accept and embrace cultures that are not their own, but to enjoy and love them as well. I think it's so important. It's so Star Trek, right? It's truly, when I was doing the Oscar campaign, I was filming Wicked, and I remember bringing the Oscar back to the set and defining the phrase "jumping for joy." That would be John M. Chu. I was so afraid that he would jump off the stage, because we were in Ozfest, where they had that huge song and dance number, and I remember coming back and being celebrated, because it made such a big difference. Like for John, to be able to see that happening for me, and to feel the love from the set. And I remember going up to Cynthia and go, "You're next, girl." And Ariana, you girls, this is this. And I hope it's so slowly unfolding in that direction. So we hope it will go that way. Well, I have already come to terms with the fact that Madame Maribel truly is the Wicked Witch. Because presently there are only 2 witches, right? Even in part 1, that knows magic. That's Elphaba and Madame Maribel. And Madame Maribel is so fixated on her own ambitions and on her own dreams that she's pushed aside, and she doesn't care anymore, because in her mind, this is how I make Oz great. This is how Madame Maribel is going to change the lives of her people, the Munchkins, in the land of Oz, and she doesn't care if other people will be hurt along the way. So it is a terrifying notion. Yeah, and I say thank you, John M. Chu. Every time you think of someone wicked, you think of Michelle Yeoh. Yes, I think that's why it is interesting and important to have those kind of roles, because you can't just always be the good guy, right? Because there's always a balance. What is the good and bad, right? There can't be light without darkness. It can't be just one tone. So as a storyteller, as an actor, it's very important to be able to explore that side of it. Okay, just don't go into method acting, okay, with those kind of characters. But then it shines the light on the complexities of these people. It doesn't mean that you have to be those people, but for you to recognize that's the kind of path they have chosen, and you have a choice as someone that watches the movies, that I hope it opens your eyes, and it inspires you to think and be thoughtful and mindful of how you can be sucked into that dark side. Oh God, I think there's always a little dark side and a little evil in all of us that, comes out. And I think with the hair and makeup, the nails, and having that liberty to, it's not Michelle Yeoh. I'm playing Philippa Georgiou, and she's always taken liberty with the way she talks, the way she walks, and how she looks at you and go, and having that freedom to be able to do that, because in normal we would always be, yes, very diplomatic, very pragmatic, but Philippa Georgiou is no way that. And as an actor, to have that opportunity to explore that without being a caricature, without being too much. It's like, how do you keep it contained in such a way where sometimes people look and go like, I wouldn't mind dressing up like that for a change, right? Because she seems like deliciously wicked. So it's fun. That's I've not thought about that, because I'm always seeking for new adventures to play with. I think with Star Trek, because of the TV series, then you are able to explore the roles in a much deeper and complex way. Whereas in a film, it's like it's open and shut, right? It's there. But now, because of it being able to be turned into a series. So there's always opportunities to reprise the role. So I will go back and have a little think about that rather than just like going forward. I always move forwards. I always look forward to something different, different and challenging. But I always knew that Emperor Georgiou was a character I really, really wanted to explore and expand on, and I think in Section 31 we did just that. I was asked actually one time to come back to do a cameo in it, but unfortunately I was producing my own movie, so it was sometimes life throws tough choices at you, but. Sometimes it's a great sense of responsibility you feel. Then you go like, no, there are so many people looking after it. I'm just going to go in and enjoy myself. And I think that's, for me, is the best attitude, because I do my best work when I'm not crazy stressed out. I am a perfectionist, but I cannot be overstressed, right? Otherwise, it's like, what's the point of doing it if you're not having fun with your passion? So I'm very blessed. I mean, we're still filming Blade Runner. I'm still going back for Avatar. So, there's more adventures to be had. So I'm very excited.